here we are again.
Hey, what's going on? How are you today? Hey.
Tim and Kris, 30 years later.
Exactly.
Holy Christ, we haven't aged a day.
No, we have not. We have not aged a day. But it's good to see you. I see you. I go years without seeing you. Now I'm seeing you once a week.
I know. How about that? Let's see how long this takes to wear on my nerves.
That's right. See how long this lasts before we kill each other.
Well, you know, we lived together and then we went our separate ways and had separate. Like we came back around at one time to try to do a cartoon. You remember that? A comic strip.
Yes, we did.
And you know what?
I think we worked on that for like 2 days.
I know, and I still have that. And we actually submitted. This was back when they had these things called newspapers.
I remember that.
And you open it and there's this whole page of cartoons and comic strips.
Yeah.
We tried to do one about a radio station. You remember the call letters?
No.
I don't either. But it was kind of a Doonesbury meets Sad Sack thing. Yeah, it was pretty clever. I still have those. We actually submitted them to King Features, and we actually got through the first review process. You remember?
We got turned down pretty quick there.
Well, no, actually, we didn't. Remember, it just kind of drug on, and I finally said, well, I'll call them. And this was way back before the internet, so I had to get out I had to call directory assistants. Remember that? You have these nice ladies that would, how may I help you? And you give them a number and they'd hook you up.
And they would actually help you.
Yeah, they're all out of work now.
Yeah.
But I remember calling King Features and I said, hey, we submitted this comic strip. We haven't heard anything, just wondering where we are. And they actually transferred me to somebody. It was probably somebody, hey, you want to take this call?
Right, yeah.
What are you wearing? Khakis, right? So, but the guy that I talked to was familiar with it. He said, oh, yeah, we really like it. It's gone through the first review, and now it's in the second. About this? No, because
I didn't think so.
Because of the crushing blow that came next. So he said, yeah, we're in the first review, and, it's got 2 more reviews, and we'll be in touch. Well, like 2 days later, we got a rejection letter. So I'm like, I'm not going to tell Billy that I called up and bugged these guys and they sent us a rejection. But
I didn't think I knew this story. So
I'm pretty sure I told you. There's a lot you don't remember.
I barely remember you.
I mean, you didn't remember us interviewing Ron White, which was a pretty big deal at the time.
Well, back then we were bringing in comedians.
And he wasn't the giant that he is today.
Right.
Back then.
Well, apparently not. So, because I would have remembered.
Well, you would think.
Yeah.
But, the memory is what they say, the second thing to go, and I don't remember the first.
But, speaking of the comedy club, our show today is brought to you by...
Oh, my God, I've got a sweatshirt. Look at that.
Look at there.
An original comedy club
T-shirt. Yep, original comedy club. Take a whiff.
I don't want to. I remember how that place smelled.
No, it's not the place. It's the storage building. Yeah. But anyway, that's if you haven't noticed, our advertisers are all out of business. So.
Yeah, good luck billing. I actually still have remember the black sweatshirt that? I actually still have one of those.
I have.
It still fits almost.
Almost. I have a jacket that Ollie Joe Prater bought me for Christmas.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
It was
after the show. It's Saturday night, about midnight. Me and Ollie Joe and Brian were sitting there, and
Brian was the owner.
Brian was the owner.
Yeah,
and everybody had gone home, and we were just sitting there, just talking. And I asked Brian, he had one of the jackets for sale, had up on the wall, and I said, Brian, how much is the jacket there? And he said,
more than you got.
Yeah, more than I got paid that week.
Yeah,
but anyway, so Ollie Joe said, get it down.
He's a great guy. Yeah,
great. What a nice guy.
I think he passed before I got involved.
He
went pretty quick, but God, he was huge.
Yeah, but we thought we lost him when we did a show in Florence one time.
Lost him physically, lost him, or lost him as if where'd he go?
No. We thought we had, he'd gotten kind of queasy and everything.
He had some problems.
He was okay. Yeah, he had his issues. But what a great guy.
Yeah.
What a nice guy.
A lot of those guys back then had issues. Remember James Gregory?
Yes.
I worked with James a lot, enough to get to know him better than I should have. And I don't mean that in a weird Cosby. I don't mean that in a weird Cosby kind of way. But nice guy, very funny. But the good old days. But we can't do this thing just talking about the good old days because we run out of memories really quick.
Right.
So let's talk about what's going on with you these days. I mean, everything going on in the world. Here's the big question. How has the COVID, as the old people call it.
Got the COVID there.
How'd that affect you? Because you work at the hospital, right?
I do, and I do. I work at the hospital, and you know, we see a lot of things going on. But the hospital, I tell you what, has really done well as far as I don't know. I want to make sure I say the right thing. Make sure they isolate.
Yeah, they do everything correctly.
They do everything correctly. It is so top notch. It is so right on. And so I think we're handling the issue, or not we. They are handling the issue. Just.
Well, how are you? How are you handling it? Did you go into quarantine? Did you when they told everybody to stay home? Were you an essential worker? Did you have to?
I was an essential worker. Yeah. Believe it or not, I was an essential worker.
That's kind of it. Well, so was I. Real estate agents were essential.
But yes, I was, as a matter of fact. So we continued forward, and I tell you what, all the hospitals around town or around the country are doing just fabulous.
It's a scary time.
It is a scary time.
How did it change what you do personally? Because you still went to work, but you couldn't go out. And I know, do you still go out? And I would imagine you're not the carouser that you once were.
Well, no, but I'm not. Well, like people, we'll go out to dinner.
Yeah.
And we'll be in the car, and we won't wear our mask, and we'll get out of the car and put our mask on, go up to the door, say we'll table.
Like stick them up.
Yeah, yeah, and go up to the door and say table for two. We'll go to the table. Yeah. We'll sit there with our mask on until they bring our drinks. Once they bring our drinks,
it's all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, free for all. You just take your mask off, and that's it.
I saw a guy the other day. And I'm
not the only one that does that. Everybody does it.
Well, you're supposed to.
Yeah,
yeah,
you can't eat with your mask on.
Well, no. You put a little straw hole in there. Have you seen the guy on the internet? He's a big smoker. So he put like a valve in his mask that he could at least get a cigarette in.
I think I've seen
that. Kind of defeats the purpose. Yeah. I saw a guy the other day sitting at a stoplight in a convertible with the top down by himself wearing a mask. Now, I ask you, why?
Why?
I mean, you've seen people driving around in cars by themselves wearing a mask.
Yeah, that makes sense.
How does that make sense? They're in a car by themselves. I mean, do they think that the COVID is just in the air?
Well, let me tell you this. Talking about driving around, noticing people. I was coming down the interstate the other day, and I pulled up on a guy, and they were doing 60, 65. You know, I kind of came up on him like this, and I just happened to look over. He was reading a book.
Doing 60, 65? But was he wearing a mask?
I didn't get up that high. I just was looking at the book. I mean, seriously, he had a book, and he was like reading, just like this.
Was he in a Tesla?
I don't know.
A self-driving car?
Oh, I don't know. Possibly. I don't know. Yeah. Well, I know he wasn't looking up.
Yeah. Damn engineer. Well, I just don't understand if you're in a convertible by yourself with the top down.
Why would you wear a mask?
Why would you wear a mask? Is it because you think the
Maybe
particles?
Maybe he's really ugly.
Well, if the particles are in the air, put your top up.
Exactly.
Roll your windows up.
Yeah.
But I honestly...
Maybe he needs dental work.
He's like most... He was an older guy, my age. The reason most guys my age-ish drive a convertible with the top down when it's 105 outside is they think it makes them look cool.
Well, yeah.
But as a convertible owner of quite note, I've owned a couple of them. I got to tell you, there's a very fine line between looking cool and just being a dumbass. Because if it's 105 outside, you're gonna sweat.
Yeah, you're not thinking that guy looks cool. That guy looks hot.
I don't look over there and go, "Wow, look at that cool Mercedes." You look at that idiot with the top down with the mask on,
with a really red face.
With the really and he was bald. The top of his head was red. Yeah. So I'm asking you. Tomato. I'm asking you, where is the common sense?
There isn't any
in that.
It is.
There's not a whole lot of common sense left in the world.
Speaking of common sense, thank you for the cup of coffee, by the way.
I didn't realize it was such a big deal.
Oh, it's my cup of personality, man.
Oh, my God.
And so I need to get some more. But if you ever noticed on a Keurig, you have a Keurig.
I do have a Keurig.
And I discovered this by accident, but it's absolutely true. You know, you put your cup in the Keurig, put it right there.
Right.
Hit the button.
Right.
Okay. If you forget to put the cup down.
Coffee still comes out?
And it still comes out. The tray that you put your cup on will hold a cup of coffee.
Really?
I discovered that accidentally.
Accidentally.
It's true. Yeah. It will hold a cup of coffee.
Yeah. See, I've got a Keurig.
So they cover you, man. They got you.
Well, I just don't like Keurig. I don't like coffee. I don't like Keurig coffee. I'm a big coffee drinker. Folgers, breakfast blend, and I bought that Keurig, and I'm a sucker because I bought the Keurig and the sampler pack, and the sampler pack was like, 50 different kinds of coffee from around the world.
Sure.
Okay. I discovered that I only like Folgers that you get at Publix, you know. But I'm not. To me, the Keurig is kind of a step up from instant coffee. Remember back in the day when we lived together in the 40s?
Call back.
I don't need you directing my phone calls.
Sorry.
This is money.
Okay.
This brings me
I thought
nothing.
this was money.
I mean, you know, I ain't saying a dime
I haven't
of
seen
this.
any yet, but hey.
Oh, let's see. Who is this? Oh, it's Mr. Trump. I'll call him back.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, I just know remember the old Folgers crystals?
Yes.
And you would heat up the water in a tea kettle, or, you know, I just put it on the stove. Later on, when technology came around, you use the microwave. But you take a spoonful of those crystals, which I think...
Like instant coffee is what
that was the same stuff that was at the bottom of most aquariums. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
It's true. I looked it up on the internet.
Wow.
Mr. Google told me that. But I remember that, and that coffee was always so strong and stout. And that, to me, that's how a Keurig tastes. I like a good IHOP cup of coffee.
Yes.
That's the best coffee in the world.
Somebody that really takes it serious and concentrates, goes to school to learn how to make IHOP coffee.
There's an instruction manual. You're going to love this. Remember my mother?
Yes.
Gertrude.
Yes.
My mother passed a few years ago in her early 90s. And at the latter part of her life, she was just a fount of witticism. Because she went, write that down, fount. It's short for fountain.
Okay, I'll.
I.e. spewed. She went to the grocery store and found Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Wow.
And so I used to go over there 3 or 4 times a week to have coffee or lunch with her. And she said, I bought some of that Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Doesn't taste anything like donuts.
Was she serious?
She was dead serious.
Dead serious.
She said, doesn't taste anything like donuts, but if you want a cup, it's okay.
Wow. Well, I guess she made a point there.
My mom.
You would think.
My mom.
Your mom was a sweetheart.
She was a sweetheart, and she came up with some witticism. Hell of a cook.
Yes.
Hell of a cook.
When we lived together and we were poor.
We were poor.
Yeah. We'd go over there and we would eat, and she would just fix a feast for us, man.
You know, she was one of these old country ladies who, I mean, this was an every night thing. She would go in the kitchen and cook everything in the kitchen.
Right.
You know, we had some kind of meat, even if it was like a fried bologna, because we were dirt poor. I didn't have a steak, honestly, until I was in my teens, and I was unimpressed. Right. But, you know, she would like fry some bologna or kill a chicken. It was a farm. And I remember my mother, I'd be in the backyard playing. Chickens all over the place. Sure. Cows, pigs, right? Yeah. And my mom would casually walk out of the house, just like it's just another day, walk over to the nearest chicken, reach down and grab it by the head and go, and walk back in the house without saying a word. And me and my little brother were like, I'm not making her mad. The next time she tells me to go get a switch, I'm going to go get a switch.
Exactly, yeah.
But, man, but every night
she wringing their neck.
Wringing their neck, yeah. But she would cook every night because when my old man got home from wherever he had been, it sure as hell wasn't working, he expected a meal on the table. And this is the way it was back then.
Oh, yeah.
And so there'd be, you know, this chicken, fried potatoes, pinto beans, cornbread.
I'm there with you, man.
I mean, remember that?
Yes, my grandmother cooked like that. I remember one time, you know, last time we did this, we talked about how I spewed homebrew all over
Grandpa's
but
table.
She would cook like that every day with the chicken and what you said?
Nothing. I'm just looking at the cameras. You're a little jumpy today.
I don't know. I'm expecting something like that. But no, she would cook like the cornbread and the potatoes and okra and all this other stuff. And I remember my grandmother had made, I think it was chicken and a roast.
2 meats. Well, aren't we uppity?
Yeah. But anyway, so we had just sat down to eat. Here comes my grandfather. He had killed a quail. And he wanted quail.
On purpose?
He killed a quail. And so my grandmother got up, plucked this quail, cooked it, and we had 3 meats that night.
But only he had the quail, because the quail is not a large animal. We were in bed
by the time it was done. But, yeah, that's the way they did it, man.
It's amazing what they would eat.
How much food they prepared for one meal.
Well, my mom did that every day, and then as we got older, it was a Sunday. You come over every Sunday because Mama's going to cook everything. And I remember when I first started dating Melissa would walk in over there and go, holy Jesus, you cook everything? And my mom's like, well, I hope it's okay. We didn't have any pork and beans. And I was a big fan of pork and beans because you get your beans and your pork It's the perfect food.
It's a
if you drink
meal.
milk with it, you're set for the day, right?
You're a little uppity.
But yeah, she would do that every Sunday, and we go over and eat. People just don't do that anymore.
They really don't. Yeah, we always look forward to Sunday dinner because they.
Yeah.
And have you ever had dinner on the grounds?
Not on purpose. I remember. I've done that. I remember
church will have dinner on the grounds.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. That's a good socialistic event.
Socialistic?
Well, where you socialize.
Yeah. Okay.
Where you visit each
other. Not political, but
no,
you do. Yeah.
No.
Dinner on the ground.
Yeah, visit people.
Yeah. Yep.
Give them a big old hug and tell them you love them.
I love it, man. And I remember back before there were microwaves, when you do leftovers. No, but it is now.
All right, sounds good.
Remember before microwave, anytime you want to do leftovers, you had to heat everything up in the oven. And you had to time it kind of, sort of. Otherwise, it was always like really nasty and cold. These kids these days, they don't know how good they got it.
They don't. I remember on Saturday morning, sometimes people would come around our house selling donuts, Girl Scouts or whatever. Yeah. They'd sell donuts. As soon as those donuts got there, man, I'd go in the kitchen, I'd put a little butter on them, and I'd throw them in the oven. 30 minutes later, nice, warm, buttery donut.
Rock, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now you do that in 30 seconds.
Well, now they'll stand in front of the microwave looking at their watch.
Oh, yeah.
Because it ain't going fast enough.
Right.
Anyway.
I know. Anyway.
Yeah. So, really, the COVID thing, you just kind of kept working and stayed inside, and everybody stayed well.
Yeah.
It didn't affect me any, oddly enough. Real estate was considered an essential business, thank God. It wasn't in every state.
People need a place to live.
Well, they do. Well, that's the thing. I don't think we could shut that down here given what's going on.
No.
But my daughter, Sierra, who, she works at a big company, they sent them home almost immediately.
Oh, really?
And she's been working from home, 4 months. She hadn't gotten out of her pajamas in 4 months.
Wow.
And God forbid if she ever has to go back to the office, it's going to be an adventure.
Man.
But no, nothing changed with me. I just it did change the business somewhat because people were not as open to letting folks walk through their house as much, but it didn't impact the volume. My question is, and I doubt you can answer this, but I'm going to throw it at you. But, we had that shutdown for a little while, and it kind of ebbed the flow a little bit. And now everybody is back doing, well, now we're kind of back where we were. You think they're going to shut us down again? Well, see, I knew that one was going to go right over your head.
Well, I don't know. I think things are, people are really wanting this to get better.
Yeah.
And so I think what they're doing is maybe possibly doing things more progressively to make that happen where we don't have to shut down again.
Well, at least everybody, or most everybody's wearing a mask now.
Oh, yeah.
I got to be honest with you. I was a big resistor to the mask because I don't know. It's something in my DNA. I feel like I'm going to smother if I have a mask on. I can't, when I'm in the shower, I can't let the water get in my face because I feel like I'm going to drown.
Have you talked to somebody about that?
I talked to my family members, and they're all exactly the same.
Oh, yeah?
It's really weird. Yeah. It was like if you can't wear a necktie, it's because one of your ancestors was hung. And not in a good way.
I've never heard that.
Wow. I saw it on Dr. Phil, but
well, Dr. Phil.
Yeah, but the mask, I just feel like I'm gonna. So I'm constantly pulling it out.
It creates a panic.
Well, it really does. And I found out if your breath is bad, it's not nice.
It's not good.
It's not good.
No, I can vouch for that.
Yeah. So I was one of the resistant ones. I wear them now. I've got 30 masks in my car. Hopefully that's going to make everything. Here's one for you.
Okay.
Talking to a fella I know the other day, big Alabama football fan. Uh-huh. And he was just bitching about, they're going to mess up the football. They're going to mess up the football. He was really angry.
Blaming Alabama?
No. Whoever they is. The government.
Oh.
Or somebody, not Alabama.
Oh.
He has the utmost. If it's up to Nick Saban, we play football. And I asked him, I said, let me ask you a question. I said, would you rather Alabama play football or let's say, I don't know, 1,000 people get COVID and die at the stadium? He's like, I'd rather play football. So,
and where did he go to school?
I'm not sure where he went to school. He didn't go to Alabama, that's for sure.
Obviously.
But I've heard this kind of conversation a lot. You know, screw the COVID and the repercussions. I want my football.
It means that much to a lot of people.
You know. Now, here's another question. Can you imagine watching a football game on TV with no crowd noise? Because it's a completely different experience.
Well, if you've watched baseball.
Well, they're piping in crowd noise.
Right.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Stupid.
Not a laugh track, it's a crowd.
Yeah. They're a crowd. So, same kind of thing. I mean, the players, I mean, it's got to be weird, number one, for the players trying to play without any crowd noise. Because it just seems like
You're playing in an empty
And
stadium.
have you ever watched a football game with the volume turned off? No. It's just weird. So that's the question. Is it? I mean, this is a whole new experience. Yeah. I think the NBA is playing basketball, but they've got everybody in kind of a bubble down there doing it. So do you think that the college football season should happen at all? Give me your opinion. Don't worry about all these buttholes watching. Because I
didn't call you that. That wasn't me.
You know who you are.
But yeah.
If you're insulted by the word butthole, you're a butthole.
I mean, if they, I'm like everybody else. I want it to go back the way it used to be.
Yeah, but it's not. Not anytime soon.
Not anytime soon. Unfortunately, it's not.
So if they take these precautions,
without the crowd noise, without the crowds, the crowd is a big.
They're a big part of the game. Yeah,
I mean, it fires energy into the players.
Right.
And like you say, if you're playing in an empty stadium,
what's the energy level going to be?
Yeah, what's the energy level going to be?
But my thing is from a safety standpoint.
Have you ever been to a college football game?
I have. Oh yeah, yeah. I used to go to a lot of Alabama games back years ago.
We went last.
Haven't been recently.
We went last year. We went to the Western Carolina game, and we stayed in Hotel Gridiron, which is like 3 blocks from the stadium. We got really lucky with this. And it's where the players stay. So anyway, here comes the players. They said, "Hey, the players are here." You know, so everybody kind of lined up. There's about 50 or 60 of us. People, if you stay at the hotel, that's the perk.
Is that you get to see the players?
Yeah. Well, anyway, here come the players that parading out like they're doing the Walk of Champions. You know, with their headsets on, and suits,
just ignoring you.
Yeah. Anyway, here comes Saban. And we're like, there, and then he kind of rushed around, got in his elevator. And that was the thrill of the night.
Just
anyway, so they said, if you hang on, he'll come down and say hi to everybody. Oh, man. So we waited about an hour and a half, and everybody kind of got up against the thing, and they had a little rope thing, roping everybody off. And so here he came. And he just went one by one. And they said he'll either do an autograph or a picture. Well, I got a picture.
Well, yeah.
And but anyway, he came down, and we were so afraid because we had heard stories that if he gets mad, somebody makes him mad, he'll just walk out. And I thought,
please don't make him mad.
Yeah, please say anything to not make him mad. So anyway, he came over. And Donna told him, my wife told him she liked his jacket.
So he gave her the jacket. What a guy.
He signed the jacket. He forgot to give it to her.
He gave her Ollie Joe Prater's jacket.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And then I walked out. I said, "Sir, I like your tie." And you know what he said? "Thank you."
Here.
We had a conversation.
So you can actually say that you have spoken to Nick Saban.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
And he has reacted to what I said.
Wow.
I like your tie.
Thanks.
Thank you. Took a picture and he moved on.
Didn't bother giving you the tie.
Well, I didn't ask
Nick.
for it.
Nick is God. I mean, let's be honest. Here
he's
and it's like that in every state. Whoever the big football coach is, regardless of the state, they are.
Coach O in Louisiana. I mean, for
that
LSU.
Guy. Is that the guy that talks like this? Think he's trying to do that?
I'm sure he's
hitting the throat a few too many times.
That's his.
Well,
trademark.
I know a lot of people. They put great stock in their football. I'm not that rabid a fan, but I know fans that are
Have you ever been rabid?
Rabid. Not about football.
Okay.
Been rabid about a few other things, which we won't go into here.
Okay.
But
you don't have shots for that.
Yeah. So, but my thing is that if you can do it and keep everybody, not just the fan, but the players. If I was the parent of a player, I would be a little concerned because that's pretty much close contact. Granted, I don't think it's as close as basketball. They're not really bumping into each other. They're just mowing over each other.
And they have helmets, face masks, and stuff. They're not touching their face.
Are they going to be wearing a mask? COVID mask?
I doubt that.
Because they can't breathe. The damn things is like smothering you.
Exactly. But it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't have the plastic shield.
Yeah.
Over their.
Yep.
To put the face mask.
Well, I think the way we
do that anyway.
The way we do everything is going to change, and I don't think the COVID is over by any stretch, regardless of what the politicians say. I have always said, and this is how deep a thinker I am, that we'd all be wiped out by something we couldn't even see, like a germ, like a COVID.
Right. Well, a lot of people have said that.
Yeah. No, I said it first. Yeah.
You're the very first one.
That's the thing. You can't. The one thing man can't fight against is something like that he can't see, and it's causing. I mean, this has been just a really weird experience. But hey, let's shift gears and talk about something fun.
Okay.
One of the things we used to do on our show was a top 10 list.
Yes.
Some of them were gold. Some of them were not. But you actually have a top 10 list?
I wrote this weekend. This one, the ones we've done so far have been
old ones.
Old ones from 20, 30 years ago.
All right.
I wrote this one this weekend.
Let's hear it.
On the weekends, that's when you do all your activities. You go shopping. You do you go to the gas station. You do all the things.
Did the honeydew stuff.
Yeah, the honeydew stuff.
Yeah.
Well, everybody that knows me at all knows I love to go to the grocery store.
Do you? Star Market?
Yeah. I'm not going to say because we go to several. I'm not going to clarify a specific one.
You don't want people waiting outside to compliment your tie and jacket when you come in.
Exactly. But anyway, this is the top 10 list I wrote for this week.
All right, let's hear it.
The top 10 things overheard at the grocery store.
Hang on, let me get a cup.
Okay.
Drink.
Oh.
Because there have been occasions where, I have spewed at some of your top 10 lists 40 years ago.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
Top 10 things overheard at the grocery store this weekend. Number 10, clean up on aisle 9. Number 9.
So these are actual things.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Number 10, clean up on aisle 9. Number 9, hey, Stacy. God, look at that dress. I wouldn't wear that hideous thing to a dog fight, even if I was favored. Number 8.
I'm just glancing at my phone.
Number 8, hey, Christy. God bless her. She's dumb as a rock. She just passed her driver's test, and she's 38 years old. Someone told her the other day she smelled like a flower. She said, which one, all-purpose or self-rising?
You at the grocery store or at church? That's kind of the same thing.
Number 7, hey, Sheila. Look at her, bless her heart. I've seen better-looking faces on a broken wristwatch. Number 6.
Some things age well, some things don't. Go ahead.
I know.
Yeah.
Number 6, green beans, 2 for $1, aisle 4. Number 5. Wait a minute. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Number 5. Hey, Margaret. Oh, God, she thinks she's the stuff. Her daddy is the one that has all that money. He's the one that bought her that house. Number 4. God knows I wouldn't say she's ugly, but she'd make a pit bull climb a glass door. Number 3, and rumor has it she's going to marry a hard-working farmer. Shoot, I met the guy. He's so lazy he has to stop plowing to poot. Number 2.
Where the hell do you go to the grocery store? It's a Piggly Wiggly
Number 2.
In Pisgah.
Number 2.
All right.
Is that Tim and Kris over there? Have you heard that crap they're putting on the radio? What the hell are they doing? And number one thing heard at the grocery store, isn't it horrible how everybody talks about each other?
Da-da! We don't have our sound effects. So.
We don't have our sound.
Gee, well, thanks for sharing that. That's the top 10 things.
The top 10 things I heard
at the grocery store. Yeah. Did you hear those from your wife?
No, I'm not going to say who I heard them from. No. Just various people. Just walking around. Well, how you walk around, you kind of,
Good deal. Well, proof once again that time flies when you do things that are mediocre. We're at our 30-minute mark. So, hey, hope you guys are enjoying this stuff. We're just getting together and shooting the bull. Humor us. It's the same thing I say to Melissa when I want to make love. Just humor me. The top 10 things I say.
I may have a subject for next week.
All right, buddy. Stay well. We'll do it again next week.
Thank y'all.
See ya.
For being there, and we'll see you next week.
See you at the grocery store.
See you at the grocery store.
That baby's so ugly you have to tie a pork chop around his neck. Get the dog to play with him. All right. See ya.